And here's the video review for Transformers Cyberverse Commanders Wave 1. This is the first 4 in the Cyberverse Commanders series. You got Megatron, Bulkhead, Prime, and Starscream. They come on slightly bigger cards. Currently they come with, behind the bubble, there is a special edition DVD. And it's just a small version of Masters and Students. They all come with the same episode. So you're not going to get like different episodes. You're just going to get the same episode over and over again. But, you know, little bonus for the figures. These were $9.97 at Walmart. And $10? Yeah, I don't know. I think they're kind of pushing the Cyberverse price point at 10. I still feel like I got my money's worth out of these, but if that price goes up, the Cyberverse may become less of an appeal. But anyway, commentary over. Let's get on to the figures. Now, they're all really good. I think if I had to rank these... if you can only get one, get Bulkhead. I think overall he's the most solid. He's really good. If you can only get two, get Bulkhead and Megatron. Megatron suffers from, as you can see, a rather weak alt mode. It just looks a little doofy. But his robot mode is outstanding. And then Prime and Starscream, really, it's up to you. I think these are all solid figures. I think Prime has a good balance, like a decent alt mode, a decent robot mode, and it's pretty much the same with Starscream. His robot mode's pretty good. His alt mode's a little off, a little out of proportion from his show model, but not horrible. So like these are kind of like the middle ground ones that have a decent alt mode, decent robot mode. Bulkhead, I think, excels in both modes. I think he's really, really solid. Megatron has a kind of lame vehicle mode, but his robot mode really makes up for it. So just a quick ranking system there, if you want to know how I feel about each individual figure. So let's start off with Starscream back here. You can see his legs are kind of folded up on his back. His arms become the cockpit here. And then he's got two of these little null ray expanded gun with a missile attached to it type weapons. You just want to pop those off. You come back here, and you just kind of unpeg the legs from the back, flip them down. I'm going to go ahead and lift this piece up and rotate the tail fin around on that. Lift the wings up like this. And come around front. You want to kind of lift the whole cockpit assembly up and bring it down. And then split it in half. Take the wings, fold them straight up like that. Then the arms, the shoulders, or bring them down and around to the sides. Then you just flip his head forward. Bring the wings all the way back. Flip the engine piece all the way up onto his back as well. And there you have Starscream in robot mode. Like I said, the cockpit from the side, his arms, I've got a little bit of a loose joint here. His hands are kind of stuffed inside the cockpit halves. And if you don't put the weapons on, it looks a little silly. Not horrible, but a little silly. But then these weapons peg on to his arms just like this. And it kind of helps hide the fact that his arms are half of the cockpit. Not entirely, but helps a little bit. And there he is in robot mode. He's a little finicky to get to stand. But there you go. So there's Starscream in robot mode. Focus here to see if that helps any. We'll set him off to the side. I'll swap over to Optimus here. Now he's got his guns. He comes with two rifles. There's pegs all over him. You can plug them in various different ways. You can also, if you want to, peg them down here on the front of the truck. In vehicle mode. There's a hole that looks like it should fit it right here, but it's just a little bit too big. And maybe if these push together a little better, it might hold them tighter. But I haven't had a whole lot of success having those stay in there very well. And he's kind of neat. Like I said, he's got the exposed shoulder joints here in vehicle mode. But other than that, it's a pretty solid mode, and looks kind of cool. You can kind of see his face on the back here as well. So you come back here. There you go. Of course. Pop that right back on. Arms come out to the sides here. And then these pieces actually do come down, split. They're on a separate hinge on the same shoulder piece to come down and form the shoulder pads. And I think that's really cool. There's like a little, let's see, there's two hinges together here. One in front, one in back, that lets this come down over the shoulder piece. Really kind of ingenious for such a small figure to pull something like that off. Not super... It's not like amazing, like, oh my god, how did they do it? But it's kind of cool to see that on a small figure. And the legs come down, split like this. You flip the engine pieces forward to form the figure. I guess you want to pull these apart first. and then the front part of the engine flips off, and of course, ball joints pop off. Bring the whole waist assembly down here, flip it forward, and then just flip his head forward. Just like that. It does have a swivel, which is nice. Starscream's head does not, just due to the way it transforms, but Optimus's head does have a back and forth swivel here. And there's Optimus Prime in robot mode. And again, you can put the weapons, I guess you can't there. You can put the weapons up on his shoulders if you want. You can have him hold them. And one of the things I like is the way these are designed right here, and the way this wheel comes out in front of his hand. If you use the longer peg from the side, it actually looks like the gun has sprouted out of his hand like they do on the show. So that's kind of cool. I mean, you see the clear plastic on all of these. Both of the Autobots and like Wheeljack Ship and the Decepticon Driller have a gimmick where you can plug them in to the back and it will light them up. There's little LEDs that will light up these figures to make them look like they're powerized, even though these are not powerizers. But yeah, so they all have some sort of glow gimmick with an LED on their respective bases. Now on to Megatron. Again, he looks like a starfighter, and similar to the show mode, but like you can see that's really just kind of a pegged together, very hollow ship. And I think honestly, had they painted this chest piece with some more silver like it is on the box, it would help make this look a little better. All this clear purple plastic really doesn't help it a whole lot. But again, for the gimmick, they kind of had to leave a lot of that open. But you'll see he transforms very similar to all the other versions of himself, with his arms back here, the cannon, the legs out to the side forming the wings, and the chest folding down around the abdomen piece to form the front of the ship. Just want to unpeg his legs here. And then you see that they come down like this. Just rotate them around on that hinge like that. And they're back to normal. And you bring the whole front assembly down. And just like on both the Deluxe and the Voyager version, these pieces swing up and around onto the chest. Bring his legs down, peg that back in. And you want to, on back here, you want to unpeg the cannon from his left arm, bring that forward, and then you bring his right arm forward. The sword actually comes off. The cannon rotates around and flips up onto his arm like that. So he's got his arm cannon there, right there on his arm, which is really cool. It's on a ball joint back here, which is really neat. And then the sword just can peg in right there onto his wrist, or right above his hand, like his upper wrist. So you can give him his sword as well. And if you don't want to use the sword, there's a peg on his back that I'm pretty sure is for the gimmick, but there's also a little post here in the sword, and you can just peg that right there on his back and store it right there if you don't want to display it like that. But all in all, a really nice looking figure in robot mode. Really solid, really captures his look on the show, and I'm really, really happy with that. And finally, my personal favorite, Bulkhead here. Let's focus on him both literally and metaphorically. He's got his little mace weapon that plugs into his vehicle mode. You can just lift that up. And it's got a couple other pegs. You can peg it on as a gun if you want to have it in this orientation or whatever. Yeah, so he has to be done in a very specific manner, because if you pull the arms out first, there's a couple little panels that would keep the whole abdomen from swinging the way it should. So you want to transform the front of this guy first. And you do that, you come up here and you pull the front wheels down to form his legs. Yeah, didn't want to do all that quite right. But bring the front wheels down, rotate these pieces up to form his feet. And then this whole waist assembly flips up. You kind of want to flip the hood forward, flips up onto his chest here. And it does peg in. There's a little peg on the hood. There you go. Snaps right into that hole in the roof. And there's his lower body done. Locks that all together. And then up here, again, much like his Voyager counterpart, you want to unpeg the wheels. They peg into the arms and rotate them down. So they were up here. Rotate them down to his back like this. And then you just pull the forearms up like that. Take these pieces here at the top of the roof here and flip them back like that. Pull the arms down and rotate the forearms forward. And there's Bulkhead in robot mode. Now, the packaging has his wheels up like that, and even official pictures have his wheels up like that. And if you want the wheels to be more prominent, you can leave them up like that, but they do fold down onto his back and stick off his back a little bit more screen accurately. Very cool. And then the mace weapon, again, you can have him hold it in his hand like that if you wish to do so, and it kind of hides his hand from the front. You can also peg it in right here on his wrist, and it's molded to kind of cover his hand, although you do see it more from the front, but from the side it does cover it. So it depends on how you want to plug that in. And again, ball joint hips, he's got hinged knees, a little bit of an ankle movement based on how you want to do it, using that transformation joint, ball shoulders, ball elbows. He also has a head swivel. It's limited a little bit by his collar, but it is there. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if Megatron has one or not. No, Megatron and Starscream's heads are fixed in place. Optimus and Bulkhead's heads can turn. So yeah, like I said, if you can only get one, get Bulkhead. I think he's the best of the lot in this first wave. Megatron also very good. Got an excellent robot mode, iffy vehicle mode. Starscream and Optimus, decent. Nothing spectacular, but nothing really horrible in either mode. They're good all around, generic, not generic, average. They're average. But Bulkhead, I think, is really the standout of the wave. So there you go. Transformers Cyberverse Commanders, Wave 1. Available now for pre-order at TFsource.com. Excellent toys, great customer service. Why go to the store when you can go to the source? TFsource.com.